We have breaking news tonight about the House Intelligence Committee investigation into Russia collusion allegations. This comes as the plot thickens in the special counsel's separate probe. Here to give us an update is the top Republican working the House panel investigation, Texas Congressman Mike Conaway. So, Congressman, you are ending the interview phase here of the House Intelligence Committee investigation into Russia's meddling in the election. You've got a draft report out tonight that you're going to give the Democrats tomorrow. Give us the headline. What did you find?
Well, the headlines are that we've reached that point where we've interviewed all the folks we need to. We've looked at some 300,000 documents, 73 interviews that we've done across the course of the day, trying to answer the 4 questions that were originally set out for the committee to answer. Yes, the Russians tried to interfere with our election process. Yes, they had cyber attacks, active measures going on. We could find no evidence of collusion between either campaign and the Russians. And we also have some recommendations, we'll have recommendations that speak to what we do in elections going forward, how important it is for Americans to be on guard on a process that's sacred to our democracy, our representative republic, quite frankly, and that is the electing of leadership across this country.
But on the big piece of the puzzle that everybody has been talking about, which is one of the reasons why your investigation was struck in the first place, no collusion that you found.
No evidence.
No evidence of collusion
That's
between
right.
the Trump campaign and the Russians.
Or the Clinton campaign.
How confident are you of that?
Well, we've found none, and so you never know what you never know. But we found no reason to think that there's something we're missing in this regard. We've talked to everybody we believe we need to talk to, and every congressional investigation has always got a caveat that 10 years from now some private diary might be found that leads to a different conclusion. But we'll address that as a part of our ongoing constant oversight responsibilities. Putin's not going anywhere, and so the Intel Committee has ongoing oversight responsibilities that we will continue. But with respect to answering these 4 questions, we believe we've got the information necessary to answer those for the American people.
Now, the president has been repeatedly tweeting that if there was collusion, it was on the side of the Clinton campaign with the Russians. So, again, you found no evidence of that either.
Not direct. Obviously, the Steele dossier, Steele is a British citizen. He talked to some level of Russians, third, fourth, fifth, sixth hand, whatever it is that was done. He was paid by the DNC and the Hillary Clinton committee. We don't believe there was any direct information provided to the DNC or to Hillary's campaign that it was a British citizen that was actually feeding this information in. That may speak to one of our recommendations, and that is campaign finance disclosures probably ought to be a little more fulsome than they currently are. Shouldn't be able to hide those kinds of activities behind a lawyer's bill that simply says legal fees associated with research or legal fees associated with compliance. So there will be some recommendations that we think that will speak to maybe fuller disclosures as to where money gets spent.
Over the course of the investigation, Congressman, which has been running now for 14 months, you talked with 10 people on the Trump side of the fence. You talked with 10 people on the Clinton side of the fence. I guess the only person that you didn't get a chance to talk to was Paul Manafort, because he was indicted before you got a chance to bring him before the committee. Based upon the number of people that you have talked to, the number of documents that you have looked at, and the interim conclusion that you have come to based on the evidence at hand, do you think that the Mueller investigation could possibly find anything different than you did when it comes to collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia?
So, John, I don't want to go there. We're not having anything to do whatsoever with the Mueller investigation. He's got separate tools, separate authorities, and everything else. And I hope he does a terrific job of whatever it is he's doing. But we didn't find any evidence of collusion, and I don't know that he will either.
Do you believe that you have all the information?
We've got everything we're going to get with respect to Manafort. We had scheduled him early on, and then a deference to my colleague Adam, we decided Schiff that we decided it was premature. We put off that interview, and then he gets indicted and is beyond our reach at that point in time. But yes, we believe we've got the information necessary to support the conclusions we've come to.
One thing that you talk about is leaks of information from the intelligence community, saying you talk about problematic contacts between senior intelligence community officials and the media. Do you think this rises to the level of criminality?
Well, we don't have the reach to be able to say that. Certainly, leaks of classified information are criminal events. If we had found something that we knew directly was criminal, we would be able to make a criminal referral in that regard. We were hopeful that the Trump administration is much more aggressive in going after leaks, because it is corrosive to our ability to do what we need to do. It can be dangerous. It can get people. I know this sounds a bit melodramatic, but leaks can get people killed. folks that are working on our behalf in really dangerous spots of the world. We put them at risk when we give out information that shouldn't be released. And so we believe there was contact. We've got one specific person that will show in the report that will go out that makes that comment.
There are some Democrats who are not happy with the fact that the House Intelligence Committee is wrapping up its investigation. One of them is a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Chris Coons. Let's play for you what he said recently.
The Senate Intelligence Committee, as you just recognized, continues to make solid progress, and the special counsel Robert Mueller continues to make significant progress. I find those both encouraging. But the Senate Judiciary Committee really has the jurisdiction over the firing of the FBI director, over obstruction of justice. So we should be farther along than we are. And it is truly disappointing that the House Intelligence Committee is just hanging up its cleats, having not really run the race.
Hanging up your cleats, having not really run the race. Your response?
I just, disagree with my colleague. He doesn't have a clue what we've done. He's not been a part of any of our investigations. So for him to make that kind of a comment is a bit uninformed at best. But we're going to be continuing at this point, working with our colleagues across the aisle to get a report drafted, get their information in there that they want to get a report out to the American people.
The ranking member, your colleague Adam Schiff, has complained long and loud about a number of people from either the Trump campaign or the Trump White House, current or former, not answering questions, claiming privilege. Did you lose anything by not being able to have those questions answered?
We don't believe so. Through the interviews I sat through and those folks, we believe we got the information that was relevant to the 4 questions that we're trying to answer, and so we'll go with it. Now, it's not surprising that folks would disagree who wanted to continue this investigation. There may be some on the Democratic side that never want this to come to a conclusion because they sense it has some sort of an advantage to them to keep this wound open. We believe it's important to move forward. We've got elections coming up. The primary season's already started, and we've got important things to discuss with the American people about protecting our elected process.
Congressman Conaway, thanks for coming in and sharing the findings.
John, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you.